What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. How are you guys doing today? It is Thursday over here, and we are seeing quite a bit of a crash in both the stock markets and crypto markets. So I'm going to be talking about this crash, and I hope you guys are hanging on, not too down by this crash. So I'm going to be talking about where the possible bounces are for Bitcoin. Is this the end of the reversal? What signs I'll be looking for to get out to basically close my long positions. So if that sounds good to you, we're gonna dive right into this video. But before we do, if you guys don't already have a Webull account and want to get some free stocks, you guys can use my referral link down below. There's still giving away free stocks value from $3 to $3,000, depending on your luck. Terms and conditions do apply when you open an account and deposit 100 US dollars. I enjoyed trading with crypto and stocks on Webull before as a starters exchange. They work very well, but with any exchange, I would not leave all of my money on any single exchange. I will spread my money around several exchanges in case one does go down, as we have seen. That's what I'm doing in terms of exchanges. Now, lastly, none of what I'm saying here is financial advice. I am not an elite trader of any sorts. Even though I am a profitable trader who's managed to keep most of my profits in the last bear market. But I am looking to crush it during this next bull cycle. So if you guys feel the same way, do hit that subscribe, hit that like for me, and let's dive right into this video. Now let's take a look into Bitcoin first, as I usually do, because it is the driver of the crypto markets. For Bitcoin here, we have reached about 27.9 here since earlier today, actually 27.7, about there. Got a little bit of a bounce here. So since we are seeing quite a bit of new movements or a breakdown from yesterday's pattern, it looks very different from yesterday's chart, right? I'll be looking at the hourly time frame here first, where we did get a pretty nice wick here, or a bounce at about 27.7, right? So let's see what the price action is going to do on this hourly time frame. But whenever there's a breakout or a breakdown, I tend to look more into the smaller time frames, the hourly, sometimes even the 15, 30 minutes. Right. So this is what I'm looking at for this breakdown. But if we actually zoom out here just a little bit, let's do a bit of a recap since my yesterday's post, where I did say that the bulls were running out of time for a move. And since yesterday's post, it looked like we had a smaller falling wedge pattern here. I'm not going to redraw this right now, but if you guys want to see it, you guys can check out my yesterday's post. But that pattern did get broken. And whenever patterns get broken on my charts, I will rechart what's going on in the markets to see if another pattern is being formed. And they're usually, I mean, there's always a new pattern being formed in the market, right? So whenever one does get broken, I will rechart the pattern to see what pattern is being reformed here. So we had a double bottom. So yesterday's chart is gonna look pretty different from today's chart here. We had a falling wedge, a bigger falling wedge, a smaller falling wedge here, and then a double bottom that was still in play, with the bottom being at about 29K with bullish divergence. I did mention that if price action did get a daily candle close below 29K, which we did, then that double bottom pattern is basically broken, and we could be looking at another pattern. And so we are. Taking a look into this daily time frame here, I am recharting this whole you know, basically these candles from the past couple of weeks into a bigger falling wedge pattern here, right? I think this would make more sense. And I will go into why in just a little bit. Falling wedge patterns are usually bullish patterns, but if you're in the falling wedge pattern, you're basically going through a downtrend, so it's going to be pretty hard to watch, especially if you're holding long positions, which I am. Not financial advice. Basically, it was not the best call that I have. It was not the best trade that I have opened, right? Like I said, I've had this trade opened since Bitcoin has hit about 31.8, 31.9. I do hold Bitcoin longs and Ethereum's longs, right? Since that 31.8, 31.9 area, I thought it was a breakout where I should have done more preparation. But I'm still holding on to longs. And I am not selling just yet, but that's just me. Don't take my word for it. It is not financial advice. It is just my opinion that's specific to my situation. Right. I do also have some altcoins longs from earlier this year where I picked up where it was not when Bitcoin was at 31.8, 31.9. That's just what I'm holding. Now let's take a look into let's continue with this falling wedge pattern here, right? On this daily time frame, I think this falling wedge pattern is the bottom trend line here is going to be pretty valid because we see the daily 200 SMA, which is the orange line coming into approaching the bottom trend line here, right? Now, if the price action does breach this bottom trend line here, I could still adjust it and it'll still be in the form of a falling wedge pattern, which is still a bullish pattern if it breaks out, right? It's a bullish breakout pattern, right? That's what I'm looking at, a falling wedge pattern. Do your own research online, verify what I'm saying here and what's being drawn here, right? Don't just take my word for it. Now, this daily 200 SMA is approaching the bottom trend line here. It's currently at about 27 point, almost 27.3. So it's not too far away from where the price action is, and price action could definitely come down to that support. It is a major support level, and it has not been hit since March of this year, right? So that is one major support level I am looking at for a bounce. Now, a bounce does not necessarily mean that it could continue upwards, but I do expect a bounce, right? So it could at least the price action could probably get a little bit of a rebound from that support level, but it does not necessarily mean that it's going to be a catalyst for more upward price action. It's just a wait and see, right? I do at least expect a bounce from this major support level here, the daily 200 SMA. Now, the 3-day 50 SMA, which is the gray line here, I expected a bounce, but we did not get that bounce. We have over 2 days left for this 3-day candle, but it's way it's basically way down from that 3-day 50 SMA. It's not impossible to still end up with this 3-day candle close above it, but it looks like it's pretty much overwhelmed that support level, which was at about 28.5, right? Now we also have the weekly 200 SMA, which has basically been the major resistance for this reversal, right? If we actually take a look into the weekly time frame, it has been support once in June, where the price action did close briefly, well, for 2 weeks, uh, you know, beneath it, but it finally got back up on top of it. So I do still expect to be a support at this level as well. I could very well be wrong, right? But if the price action does close below the daily 200 SMA and the weekly 50 SMA, that is not going to be looking good for the price action, right? We still will have then basically what I'm looking for will still be if the price action is able to hang on to a higher low on this weekly time frame. A higher low comparing to this low right here, which was about 26K. Okay. So if the price action breaks daily 200 SMA and the weekly 200 SMA, then it's not going to look good for the price action. I think that should basically break this falling wedge pattern. I think. Then basically, the only bullish signal I'm really looking for at that point is seeing if the price action is able to hang on to a higher low, comparing to about 26K almost, right, at this point in about June this year. Now these are my very rough estimations for what I could be seeing in the Bitcoin markets. Now I did point out earlier in the week that we should be watching out for the S&P 500 charts, because it does have some pretty strong correlation with crypto, at least on a higher time frame. Okay, so I did point out that there could be a possible double top on this monthly time frame, as well as a possible falling wedge, right? Unless the price action breaks this top trend line and break this previous top at about 4,800 on the monthly time frame. Now this is a chart that I'm not too concerned with on a day-to-day basis, because as I pointed out, while there is strong correlation on the higher time frames, maybe the weekly, but monthly, not something I'll pay attention to on the daily basis. But this thing is building up on the monthly time frame, probably more even apparent on the weekly time frame as well. So something to not lose track of, especially I think right now with stocks, there has been quite a bit of drama, right? Let's move on to the Ethereum charts, XRP charts, and altcoin charts, which should basically be following Bitcoin, right? For the most part. Ethereum chart here, price action completely broke down. It is now below the daily 200 SMA there. It is still possible to rechart this. To another falling wedge pattern, which is usually a bullish reversal pattern once it breaks out. I don't think I'm even going to talk about the measure move here, just because I still don't think this breakdown is over yet. Let's go into the weekly time frame and see if anything has changed for Ethereum. Weekly time frame here, if the price action could actually still get support here at about 1750, then we still have a possible cup and handle on this weekly time frame, this small cup and handle. If it starts breaking 1750, that range there, I'll be looking for a possible double bottom, as you guys can see here. But the weekly 200, the weekly 50 SMA is basically approaching the price action right now, currently at about 1600. Let's go to XRP, currently at about 58 cents. It is still holding above some of these major moving averages on this weekly time frame. And I think yesterday I already recharted this falling wedge pattern, so it is still holding within this falling wedge pattern here. If the price action does break out, then the measure move here, assuming it breaks out basically at the end of this pattern here, then the measure move will be about 81 cents. Measure moves are estimates only. It does not necessarily have to get there. And it might not get there very quickly, if at all. It's an estimate. Do a Google search term on measure moves to get a better understanding. Let's go over to altcoins. Total altcoin market cap, total 3, excluding Ethereum, which does not seem to be, having too much of a drop today, even somewhat just not moving, 0.01%. I do have to invalidate this falling wedge pattern because the price action did break back into this pattern with the daily candle closes. So recharting this, not too much of a difference falling wedge pattern there. I don't think I'm going to talk about the measure move today because I think we're still in the middle of this breakdown and seeing where the price action could potentially bounce. So might revisit this. Going to revisit this chart tomorrow and see if anything has changed. Now, this basically wraps it up for my video today. I hope you guys got something out of this. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you guys did, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.